Bună ziua, prieteni ai motorsportului și ai motociclismului în general. Astăzi avem o uriașă surpriză pentru dumneavoastră. Alături de mine, într-un interviu unic, a spune, se află Stefan Everts, marele campion belgian al motocrossului. Stefan, first of all, I wanted to ask you, how was 2016 for you? You are now for some time with Suzuki.
Yeah, it's 1 year already, so time goes really fast. So my first year is already done, so the rookie year is over, let's say. It's of course not been the best year in my life, but I enjoyed taking over the Suzuki team from Sylvester Bors. It's a complete new life started for me and also for my wife Kelly, who is also involved inside the company. She's also doing some jobs here, and a big change in our life. But yeah, I mean, I grew up racing, and I grew up being on the racetracks, and I'm retired now. This year's already 10 years ago. I had a good time with KTM, and it was time for a new challenge. And this opportunity with Suzuki came along, and I think this was coming on the right time for me, because I built up a little bit my experience after racing, because it's completely different to be on the bike or off the bike. And I felt myself ready to take this challenge, which is a very big one, maybe one of my biggest ones in my life. It's not so easy to run a team with 15 and 16 employees. It's a very big team, and but I like it. I enjoy the challenge. For me, it's a big new challenge for me, and I need it. I'm still quite young, and this is for sure my last big chapter in my life that I will do. After this, I will really retire. But there's still a lot of work to do, and a lot of goals to achieve in the next couple of years.
Which were your high points and low points of this year? I suppose the high point was the win of Kevin in Switzerland, and probably Jeremy Stewart's MX2 season.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't expect too much of the first season. For me, I came in a group which was there for some time, and it was start to work with new people. And after 1 year now, we already made some internal changes inside the team that I think is necessary to do for the future of this team. And so my expectations were to start with not too high, and so you cannot have big disappointments. For me, I had a lot of high hopes from Kevin Strybos, and we made a great winter, and my ambition was to try and get him on a level that he never been before. He's a very talented rider, and I failed on that. He made one win suddenly in our home GP in Lommel. He made an overall win, which was a very pleasant surprise for the whole team, because all year he struggled and go a little bit up and down, and then he have injury. So I think this was a bit my biggest disappointment, maybe, that I expected to get out of Kevin a little bit more than what he did this season. The high points was, of course, the great consistent season from Jeremy Sewer. He's a good boy. He's a hard worker, and we made a great winter, and he made a very consistent season. Unfortunately, he was able to win his home GP in Switzerland. We was hoping for that, but it don't take away that he made a fantastic second place in the overall championship, and which was a big step for him. And also for next year, it's a fantastic foundation that he built up to go and fight for the championship next year.
So do you regard him as a favorite for next year's championship?
Yeah, I think he will be one of the favorites. Like I said, he's a very consistent rider. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he has a good body to work with. He recovers really fast, and he's a very smart boy. He's very intelligent, and on and off the bike, which is important and really nice to work with. As far as the whole team goes, he has a lot of appreciation towards the whole crew, and this is important. It has to work in two directions, and with him, this matches really well. And I see him a big favorite for the title. Of course, there will be a lot of sharks, to attack and see that chance to go and race for the title. But it's going to be an interesting season now that Hurlings finally move up to the MXGP class. That we will have a really open championship for a new champion next year.
Yeah, Hurlings dominated once again 2016. But you were involved in MXGP this year. What did you think about Tim Geiser's performance? He dominated the whole series this year by a mile.
Yeah, I mean, what the team has been doing the last 2 years has been fantastic. I mean, nothing bad to say about it. He's a very aggressive rider, and he's very fit, and he still many times takes some risk and rides on the limits. But he managed to win many championships already with his style. Not only this year and last year, but also before when he was riding EMX. So he's been a winner since many years. So it's great for the sport to see a boy like him push through and come through and be a champion. I think it's very positive for the sport. Also, coming from Slovenia, it's something very good to show in different new countries like Slovenia that motocross is there live and is a big sport, and it just opens many doors for new markets, for sponsors and manufacturers and all that. So it's very good to have not dominating too long the same rider. I think it's important to have sometimes new champions, because that's only a benefit for the sport.
You were speaking several minutes ago about Jeffrey Hurlings. We all know by now that he is going to ride alongside KTM for 2017. How do you regard this move of him? It was, for me personally, it was about time for him to fight with the big sharks.
Yeah. I think he could have done this already, maybe a little bit earlier than on the next year. But that's I can understand also the point of view of KTM, that they had a great champion as Tony Carioli racing, and in MXGP and MX2 they had Hurling, so they had two great riders racing for the championships, and this was very smart business what they have been doing, and for promoting their brand. And but now it's time for him to move, and I think it's going to be good for the MXGP class with Favre and Geischer, and now Hurling's there. It's going to be again a very interesting season next year, and we have there three young boys which are very anxious and very aggressive racers, and it's going to bring exciting racing for sure.
Yeah. Well, in 2017 we will have very new we will have a lot of new names as well as in MX2. What do you think about Jorge Prado? Of course, he's a rival of yours, given the fact that he's riding for KTM. But he was absolutely amazing in Assen when he stunned everyone and grabbed the pole position in his very first race. How do you see him as a rider?
You're talking about Prado, eh? Jorge Prado.
Jorge Prado, the Spanish guy.
Yeah, Jorge. I know him quite well, and the family is a very beautiful family and very nice people.
I suppose he lives in Lommel.
He lives in Lommel. Yeah, they moved to Belgium several years ago, and he's a tremendous talent. For me, I rate him very high. close to, I mean, maybe even better than Hurlington Roxon. He's a very talented boy, and he has so many good qualities, and you can see that he will be a big rider in the future. He needs to take care and build up and give himself the time, but he's a fantastic starter and fantastic style. He has a good image. He's a nice boy, so he's got all the great ingredients, to make it, and I'm sure he will do. He will do so. I think we will hear a lot of Prado in the next coming 10 years, maybe even longer.
So do you regard him as the next big thing of motocross?
I'm sure he will succeed. Yeah, we will try and fight him very hard with the Lawrence brothers in the future, and hopefully also my son Liam. But we will see. It's going to be not easy, and I know that Jorge really wants to go to USA. So we will see how many years he will stay in the GP. So maybe 2 3 more years, and then maybe he goes to US. But you never know; they can change their mind. I also wanted to go in the past, and eventually I stayed in Europe. So we will see how things will turn out. But for sure, he has a bright future ahead of him.
You were speaking about the United States. How did or did you watch the 2016 season? Danji and Rogzen were absolutely amazing and dominated.
Yeah,
Uh,
I watched US, in the beginning more than in the end, but it was great to see Ken finally come through in the nationals, especially that he's riding a Suzuki. So I finally find a good setup for him, and he was very happy, satisfied, and he was really much dominating. Even before Danji got injured, I think Ken already showed and proved that he was the better one. But in Supercross, there, I think. He didn't put the right points together and struggled. Maybe a little bit stress and pressure from him, and But I'm sure with the season he had last summer, it will give him a lot of more confidence also going into Supercross, and we will see how he will end up with the Honda. He gave a good impression in the Monster Cup, so I'm sure that he will be again very fast, and he will fight the Danji next year for the Supercross title. That's for sure.
isn't quite a pity for you to lose a guy like Rogzen? We know that he raced for Suzuki this year.
Yeah, it's a big loss. It's a very big loss for Suzuki. You know, having Ricky Carmichael involved with Suzuki, with Ken Roczen, it's two very big names. It was a nice match, good for the promotion. And on this side, myself, and so it's a pity, but I think Suzuki has been slowly coming back from a long winter sleep, and they are slowly, building up their program. I think we will see in the next couple of years, we will see many new things coming. Already at the Cologne show, they showed a lot of new models, and in the next years there will be more to come. And coming back to US, it's I think they had the teams, but the structure there was not 100%. And if we would be maybe 3 years later, maybe we would not lose Roxon at the moment. But also, I think the deal that he made with Honda was already early decided in the season before he starts to dominate with the Suzuki. So I think this was already a done deal, during the Supercross season. So yeah, it's unfortunately that we lose him, but that's the way it is. You win and you lose, and it was good for Suzuki. So.
You spoke earlier about the Suzuki retirement. Uh, Also, they did a great job in MotoGP. Did you watch the MotoGP season?
Yeah, I watched it a little bit. I actually have been also to Assen to meet the team, and also learn and look what they have, and so on. So it was a quite interesting day for me to go and see them on the Thursday it was. And no, I think Suzuki in general, like I said, they are slowly coming back. and also with the MotoGP image that they've created now with the blue and the yellow is a quite strong image out there. Again, they lose one of the
Maverick.
young talented riders for next season. Who he could win one GP this year, which was fantastic to hear. So, but yeah, I think Davide he's a very professional and experienced man in MotoGP, and he's doing a good job for Suzuki. And I think for sure he will continuously to work to come back and find again a good rider, and where he eventually can win with.
Yeah, they had Maverick Vinales, and they will have two very talented riders next year. I'm speaking about Alex Rins and the crazy Joe and Andrea Noni. But I don't think they'll at the same level with Vinales. Vinales was something unbelievable this year. He was constantly fighting with the big guys for podiums and even for the win in Silverstone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, but yeah, it's the way it is now, and but after all, in the big picture, we have to see that Suzuki's coming back, and this is positive, I think, also for overall in motorsport, and especially road racing and MotoGP. It's good that they are back on the grid, and that they're showing themselves, and they are getting each year better and better.
Coming back to our favorite subject, motocross, I would like for our fans to talk about a little bit about your career. You started, if I'm not mistaken, in 1988.
Yeah, that was my first season when I started to ride 125s. I was only 15 years old, so I didn't do any GPs that year. I didn't do a lot of racing before that, just a few 85 races or 80cc races at that time. And then I started really in 1988, just a junior class in Belgium Championship. It was a new class they called Belofte Espoir, and I won that year the championship. And then from there on, I moved to the Silverge Boers team, and I went straight into the GPs of 125. So it was a very big step for me to go from just a junior, being a junior, to the GP class. But I managed to qualify every GP, and overall I finished 15th, and I missed 4 GPs because I had a broken hand in the summer, and we only had 12 GPs back then, so it was a very short season.
Not like 2017 where there are already scheduled 20.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I think that's too much.
Yeah, it's a
Given
lot. It's a lot. It's very much. This year we had 18 GPs, and I can see here now being team owner here with Suzuki how tough it is for the crew and the mechanics. We need quite big team, and we need more people to take care. It's tough. It's very tough, and with the traveling and 20 GPs is a lot, a lot. And when you look at the schedule, there's quite some distance to go from left to right, and it's not so practical organized. So the costs will be also higher with the traveling and so on. So it's not a gift, this new schedule for 2017.
you spoke about growing up in the beginning of our interview. Your father I suppose, had an enormous impact on your career. He was a 4-time world champion, and I'm speaking about Harry Everts. Did he encourage you to pursue a career in motocross, or how happened?
Well, that's a difficult question, because when I received my first motorcycle, I was 3.5 years old, and I don't remember if I asked the bike or they gave me the bike. So I don't know, but it all started really early. And once you have the bug, I mean, I grew up as a baby on the motocross track. I went to the GPs when I was a little kid. My father won his first title in '75, and I was born in '72. So
Yeah.
I was only 3 years old. when he won his first championship. So I always seen one thing is motorcycles and motocross tracks, and so I guess I asked for a bike, and that's how it all started. And after that, you know, they never really pushed me to go ride. Even when I was a teenager, they just had the bike there, and if I wanted to go ride, I could ride. But it was not really a high push. And then when I became 15, then I really asked him. I said, "Yeah, we go racing now." Yeah, but you know, it's a tough thing you want to do. Are you sure you want to go racing? I said, "Yeah, I'm sure I want to go racing." I said, "Okay, then we will support you." So and from then on, he also changed his attitude towards me, and then he was very critical to me all the time, and yeah, I have to work very hard, you know, and the hard work paid off. I mean, what he teach me in my first 5 years was very tough schooling, but it made me become the champion and afterwards that I am today. So I'm very grateful to my father that first of all he let me race, and second of all that he really showed me in a very hard, tough way to become a champion. Because it doesn't exist the easy way to be big in life. Whatever you do, there's always hard work, and sometimes you make 2 steps forward and you fall 3 back, and that's the way it goes. It's just, but you have to use your intelligence and learn from others, and yeah, and work hard.
Your first championship came in 1991. You were 18, 19 years old?
I was 18 years old. Yeah, I was very quick. It was my third season in the GPs, and I uh, I really stepped up my speed in that year. And Donny Schmidt was my teammate. He won the title in '90, and 90 was I was far off the speed, and then I don't know what happened in the winter, and then the next year I became stronger and more mature, and I started to race with him and then fight with him, and then we had a very important moment was my first GP win in Hungary, where I really beat him in the first moto, and then the second moto he got very stressed, and I put again a lot of pressure on him, and he crashed and he got injured, and of course that made it more easy to win. But then after a while, Bob Moore was knocking on the door, and he was coming close, and then start to race and fight for the championship. So then it was the next American I had to fight against. But thanks to the hard work and the push from my father and my team and everybody, I made it and became champion when I was 18 years old. So it was a very young age, which was after all, it was a bit too young. I didn't enjoy it and realized so much what I achieved, and the satisfaction was not what I was hoped for, but it's because I didn't realize what I did at that time.
And 9 more world championship came afterwards. Which was your most let me put it in other words, which is the most special championship except the first one, because I suppose it's the most special thing in a motocross rider to be a champion for the first time. Which of the other 9 world championships were closest to you as importance?
Um, I think the last one, of course, winning in my own country in Namur at the Citadel was for me something really special. I've been there as a kid for many years at the Citadel and played around that place, and I knew it in my back pocket, going around that place, which is huge. And it took me many, many years before I could race there. It was '98. It was my first time I raced at the Citadel. But I've won. I had to win 10 championships to win at least one in my own country, and this was a long wait. I had to wait a long time for this moment, and to do this in my own country in my last season was very special. Yeah, so I have to say the 10th and the last one was a nice one also because I dominated the season very strongly, and it was my farewell tour throughout the World Championship, throughout the world, and it was a very emotional season, but also special emotional win at the Citadel with all my family and friends and people who supported me, and to celebrate that place was magical, yeah. And on top of that, my son got 2 years old the same day. He likes riding and racing. We um, we don't race too much. This year he did the 65 European Championship, but he 1 month before Loket he crashed and broke his collarbone, so he missed the final in Loket. It was normally top three or possible winner for the championship, but it went wrong with the broken collarbone. But like I said, I don't push it too much, and he likes to ride, and now he's on the 85 already because he's 12 years old now. So he's yeah. At the moment, we are just more practicing and riding, and then racing. Next year, he will he will ride some championships. Um, so you will see him once in a while to pop up.
So he'll do the 85 next year.
Yeah, next year 85, and he's still quite small for his age, so I don't expect too much of him going against the big 85 boys. But we will see. We will see. I don't push him. I try to give him good advices and build him up. But he's too young to push him already too much. And I see this with a lot of parents. They are doing so many races and going already quite extreme with some kids on a young age, and I don't think this is the best way to do because the racing career of a rider only starts when they are 15, 16, some 17, and takes still for a long time. And when you already do 10 years very intensive racing with a young kid, you will see when they come 25, 26 to have a tough time. It's too much then.
I asked you before which was your high point of your career. Which was your low point of your career?
Mm, well, I've lost many championships, and every loss was a tough one and very big. The most toughest one was in '94, and I lost from Albertine in Germany. My 250 title. That was a very difficult one. Also, it took me quite some months to get over this emotionally because I couldn't accept it. Because all the hard work I put in for the past 3 years didn't pay off, and I just kept asking myself why it's not coming, why it's not just working out, and just meant to be. How hard you try, the harder you're gonna try, the worse it will get, and that will happen in the last 2 years. So I was so disappointed, and it took me quite a long time to overcome this. After several years, I lost another championship from Tortelli in Greece, and it took me only 1 week because I learned from the past that you have to, give you some days to come over it and cry, be a crybaby, and then say, okay, that's it. This is the past, and now we move on, and that's what I did in '98. So it was a change, and I've learned from those bad moments and difficult situations. So it just made me stronger for the future. It was a tough one because also that year it was a really tough battle with Tortelli, and we were so close, and we push each other so much to the next level and the next level. We had such a high pace and speed. You know, I remember in Gdansk in Poland, we lapped up to third place. It was crazy. It was just crazy what speed we was going, and I uh, I was just waiting a little bit for Sebastian to make one mistake, and I could take a small gap in the championship, but he didn't make any mistake, and everything worked out for him great. And you know, I still had it in my hands until till the end, but I just crashed, and I crashed in the first moto, and from there on, I don't know what happened. I couldn't race anymore. I was just done, and I tried hard. I tried my best, and I never went so deep in the race than in Greece to still win this championship. But like I said, it was not meant to be, and you have those years. It's not meant to be in some years. 95, for example, I had a bad start, and halfway the season, one time, you know, it started to go, and things come together, and finally I win the championship. It's like, how is this possible? You know, my attitude was different than the years before, and I win the championship. And so it's so important to have a very good mental attitude, how you work towards your races and your expectations. And it took me quite some years to control that, and but once I had it under control, I managed to win 6 championships in a row, and that was great. It was great to have this power and this control about it, which always fascinated me to do and to learn yourself and understand yourself.
So you started as a do or die rider, and you became the biggest monster, if I can say that, the biggest prize in motocross. How did the 1998 loss change your attitude? Because after 1998, there were 2 or 3 years when you were quite finding yourself, and you weren't winning championships. Someone said that the 1998 loss affected you in a way. Did it happen?
No, I think for me the main reason what happened was I had some people around me who brought me some bad spirits, you know, some bad things. I was working with a manager from England, Dave Grant, and you know, as soon as I started to work with him closely, you know, I didn't win any championships anymore. And I'm a strong believer in that your entourage that you built around you must be good, and they need to be positive. You need to have positive people around you who can really put you in the right direction, or they put you down or they put you up. And you know, 98, the loss was big, but I was so much more mature than years before, and also the reaction, the appreciation, and the from the people and the fans I got was huge. You know, they saw me lose that championship, but I came back in Belgium, and everyone had this emotion when they saw me lose, and they felt for me and how hard I tried to win that championship. It didn't work, but the respect I got from the people just raised a lot, and many people have seen it, and also the national TV had. My father was doing the commentary, so he was also there crying and seeing me lose the championship, and it was such an emotional day, which brought me a lot more respect. And I thought the opposite. I thought people would think I would be the loser, the big loser, but in a way they respected me even more. What happened the years after, I don't know. You know, 99, I had the knee injury in the first race in France, so it put me out for 4 months. So the championship was gone. And then I made maybe one of the stupidest things in my career was going to Husqvarna, and this was under the influence from my manager to go to Husqvarna, and this was mainly for the money. It was a money raising thing, and that really put me completely out of direction, and I got injured again, and during that season, I had so much time to think about, and I met my wife in '98, and we went through these tough times. And that year, we really started to figure out some things, and we made dramatic changes for the year after. And we had to quit everything and start again with the old crew, with my old trainer and with my father and some other people from the past. I brought back, and I bring the puzzle back together, and with the experience and all that, just. Made me win a lot of championships together with also the team from Rinaldi, which gave me this great opportunity at that time, and it worked out.
The move from Husqvarna regenerated your career, I suppose.
I didn't understand completely. Can you repeat?
Your move from Husqvarna at the end of 2000, if I remember well, regenerated your career, I suppose.
Not only that, I think everything, the whole package we changed everything. We started from zero. I remember end of July. I tried to race in Grobendonk, the GP of Belgium, and with the Husky, and it was just such a big drama. And I twisted my knee, and I had again the knee injury, and I'm still struggling with my arm, which I broke in the first race of the season. I struggled with that all year. I had 3 operations on it, and then also my knee. So after that, that was it. But I always kept believing in myself. I said, if I can put back the points, the parts what I need to, I'm sure I can win again. I can be again fast and strong. But I just need to change. And there also that race in Grobendonk, I made the first contact with Rinaldi, and from there on, we start to rebuild my whole structure and also my body, because the week after I went back into surgery with my knee and my arm, and then went back to my old trainer and brought back my father, that he was working with me every day, and then the year after I slowly come back and win the championship again.
Moving back to our present days, 2017 will start at the end of February. Which are your main objectives as Suzuki team manager for next year?
Well, MX2 for me, definitely it's the MX2. For me, this is we have some new riders on board. Okay, Jeremy is our first rider on the team to go and race the championship. We have Bas Vazen, who will come into MX2 for the whole championship, and we was able to sign Hunter Lawrence. He's a young Australian kid, which raced the European Championship and won in Germany. But he's got an amazing talent, and I didn't expect him to be able to sign, and so we make next year a 3-rider team for the World Championship MX2, which is too big. We kind of more over the budget and on the limits as far as everything inside Suzuki. So, but we have to do this. If we want to be on top in a few years from now, we must invest in the young boys and young riders. And Hunter Lawrence is really one of those where I believe strongly in. So he had to be on the team. And besides that, we also have Zachary Pichon for the EMX 250. He's a very talented rider also, and of course it's very interesting to have the son of my ex-rival on the team.
Which was, I suppose, he was your biggest rival, Michael Pichon.
Yeah, he was one of the big ones. Yes, I had several fights with him for some years. So it's quite cool. I remember Zachary when he was a little kid, when he was playing around the paddock, and when I was racing with his father. So
how old is he now? How old is he now? The son.
He will be 16. He will be 16. He just became 16 now. Yeah. So no, MX2 is our main focus. We will have some changes there, and MXGP. We have another year with Kevin Stribels, and we will see. It's his last, I think, his last chance. and as his teammate, we will continue with Yazikonis. So same thing. I give him a chance for next year and see where we go. So 2018 already I have plans with Jeremy Sewer. So we already signed him for 18 and 19. So to come into MXGP because he needs to move of his age. So I'm really planning already some years ahead. So 17 already is for me very busy, but I'm already thinking a lot on 18 and 19.
So Jeremy Stewart will definitely race in the MXGP alongside Suzuki in 2018 and 2019.
Yes, yeah, that's what we can say. Yeah, we did after Majora, we did the announcement that he signed, so he's safe with Suzuki for the next 3 years, where I'm very happy with, and so very important. MXGP class is for Suzuki for sure the main class at the moment, and so we are working for that for the future to be strong and race for the championship in a couple of years.
If you were to be a scout or a team manager, and what would you say for the kids? How would you encourage the kids to take on motocross? What would you say for a kid who just start to race a motocross? What would be a great advice from Stefan Everts?
Well, I think first of all, you have to learn to enjoy riding a motorcycle. You know, you need to love to do that because if you want to become a professional rider, you must be on your motorcycle for many hours and many days. So it's you need to have a big love and passion for the bike, and it's a tough sport. You know, it's not just stepping on the bike and twist the throttle and try and go fast. You know, it's not that simple. You know, you need to have a good determination. You need to have a strong ambition. You know, you need to be intelligent. You know, you need to have good people. You need to have some luck, of course. Have a good opportunity, and you have to be at the right time at the right place. You know, and but yeah, you need to have a feeling. You need to feel the bike. It's like a watch. You know, you have to the bike and the rider is and the track is three things, but it needs to work like a watch. And if you make it work like a watch, then you are fantastic.
Finally, I would like to give you the last question, or improperly saying question. What's your message for the motocross fans around the world and for the Romanian fans of motocross?
What can I say? You know, I that's a tough question. You know, the only thing I can say is thank you for watching, listening. Just want to wish everybody all the best, a good health, and keep fighting for our sport. You know, I love my sport. I'm very passionate about it, and what I do every day, I fight every day for our sport. It's not easy to survive in this world, but you know, um, yeah. So I expect you guys do the same and enjoy racing, and maybe see you one time on the motocross track.
Stefan, thank you very much for your time, and probably we will meet at some point next year on the track.
Okay, good.